Any Generation is the Legacy Trust UK regional programme for the North East, and it focuses specifically on shifting the way the cultural sector works with young people.
What is the problem? Yeah. What is the problem?
How could the cultural sector really embed working with young people rather than working for them or doing things to them?
And what we mean by that is facilitating a process whereby there's a much kind of deeper and authentic engagement in decision-making processes around the imagining, the development, the rolling out, cultural processes, and of course in the making of work.
So young people involved in the development, the design, the delivery, the evaluation of projects and programs. So not simply being just participants, but actively engaged. For me, the first residential, the Ford Castle residential, was a seminal moment in the way that young people could start to be perceived in the broadest sense in terms of commissioning of services, in terms of how they could be involved in shaping big programs. So we talked about, well, what do we mean by culture? And we shared our thoughts as adults and as young people and our different perspectives. We used that to inform the development of criteria around the sorts of things we were looking for if we were going to have this regional programme. And this was in a weekend. This was one of the most productive, intensive weekends I've ever taken part in.
Something really good to bring young people together. An exciting thing.
A great opportunity to do what we love doing.
Gone from a situation where really if young people had a go at circus they wouldn't ever get to have the second go, and that's really why we wanted to start the Five Ring Circus, so that there was regular training opportunities, and that's created a real community among the young people, so we feel a bit more like a family now.
It's been absolutely amazing. Ever since day one I've been to circus and I've been swept away in the whirlwind of it all, going to different places, meeting new people. It's been the best thing in the world.
But we're interested in one very particular part of taking part, which is young people being involved in the actual decision-making processes, how those young people interact with individual artists, with organisations and with the cultural sector as a whole.
I'm Jess and I'm busy playing Alice from Alice in Wonderland.
The project is called Space Invaders, and it is about engaging young people in the regeneration of their local area whilst developing their own creativity and skills and confidence. The first part of that process was to understand where the young people were at, what their skills were to begin with, and then we began to think about ideas for what the building could become.
A group of young people that has a space.
And we're coming and invade it, you know what I mean? We're coming here to invade this space, you know what I mean? 10 years this has been derelict, right? Like no one's doing anything with it, so why is it going to waste, you know what I mean?
For them now to come back week after week and actually be engaged with something, being active in the places they are and starting to take a bit of ownership of place.
It's Urban Games and Hip Hop. It's basically a series of events and workshops that involve different types of urban sports, skateboarding, BMX, free running, and elements of hip hop, be MCing, breakdancing and DJing and things like that.
For Any Generation, the model of co-production that emerged through the funding process and through the project delivery was one that was based on democracy and conversation, about understanding the different contributions that partners as well as young people had to make.
And it's just a case of getting all the young people together and deciding on what elements do we want. Being involved in the whole process of funding applications and cultural activities and seeing what other people can bring to the table. That's something that's resulted as part of me just being involved in the project. The Whitley Bay event this year exceeded all our expectations, really. We knew it was big, but everyone thought, well, they've been ambitious here, but we pulled it off.
Well, I've just competed in the Urban Olympics and won the skateboarding jam and came first.
The way we've done our project, there is a strong competitive element to it. It's still a friendly element, but the competitiveness just raises aspirations for all of them.
We're trying to send people back in time to the 1940s by recreating their lifestyle and the cultures and how they behaved in the 1940s by bringing young children from the northeast to an area such as this, which is Featherstone Castle, really learning about their history and their culture.
Well, basically, I'm knitting, but it's pretty easy, but it's tricky at the same time because we've got to loop it twice and then it's confusing. We've been singing in a band, playing the drums and stuff like that, and on the trumpet, I think it's called.
From the very beginning, it was designed to be a project for young people, by young people. We sort of made a lot of decisions about what activities we wanted. By doing that, you get an experience that's not made by adults who might not sort of be as in touch with the young people as we are.
I think it's really important to have art in these kind of public spaces. This particularly is amazing for artworks. There's so much light, there's so many different types of areas. I would say that I'm at the very, very beginning of a career in curating, which sounds like it's quite simple, but actually could mean quite a few different things. So at the moment, I can just see lots of different avenues opening up, and I don't know where I'll end up.
It is absolutely fantastic.
And with the Cultural Innovation Fund, those emerging practitioners have worked directly with young people in a very participatory way, not just as I say, participants, but in developing and shaping their work.
We drew pictures in the sun.
Everyone from all the projects came down and to the beach and made big sand sculptures with rakes.
Creativity has always been at the heart of any generation in terms of a creative approach to delivery, but also making the space for young people to be creative.
It's about creating a space for young people, a creative, open space where any young person can come, making things, creating things, learning, collaborating.
It's very much left up to them what they decide to do. We don't pressure them to, create a certain type of art.
And it's affected me a lot more than I thought it ever would. I wouldn't have done photography at uni. I wouldn't be going to uni actually.
I think my highlight for my time being involved with the factory was definitely the liminal spaces weekend outside the cinema. First time we'd done anything like that on that scale.
I think creativity is probably one of the most vital parts about being human. I think it's part of the human condition. And Noisestra itself, well, it's never been done before. It's real groundbreaking stuff, and it's 12 young people based in the northeast coming together, learning some skills from turntablism and collaborating with a renowned ensemble like Apartment House. I think it really opened a lot of people's minds as to what music can be and how free it can be as well. You wouldn't usually think of putting turntables together with an instrumental ensemble.
Working with Noisestra is such a proud moment for me to see young people that came together and that didn't have those skills on turntables necessarily to learn so many different things and to come together and perform as an ensemble. It's been amazing. It's very unique.
Culture is what I do every day. It's like culture is part of me.
The way you dress and the way you eat.
I am head tour guide here at the Whale Collection Museum. Within these walls, we have some of the finest artifacts.
It's been brilliant to have people who've got really strong opinions and lived experiences that can contribute to our museum's kind of knowledge. I've really enjoyed seeing the group kind of develop and become much more kind of animated, confident, and excited about what they're doing, and just having them come up with ideas and going, can we do it, can we do it? That's brilliant, that's always good.
We can see young people starting from being children, coming into young people and ending as adults. You see the responsibility that they're given, how they develop friendships, teamwork, responsibility.
The main thing is that I've become a lot more confident. I could never speak in public before doing this, and I'm about to compare a show in about 5 minutes.
For us, I think it's mapping the journeys of the young people, so to speak, or really just watching them grow. Our young people, when we first met them, there must have been some of them were 13, 14, 15, now they're on 18, 19, and some of them are employed by us actually to deliver some of the activities, or they're working for other people in a similar field. So we've got dancers who perform for a living now and who run workshops for Dance City, and for us that's exactly what we wanted the legacy of our project to be, to share their skills, have fun, and hopefully get something out of it. And if that's employment, if that's more friends, then that's a positive for us.
I think too many cultural organisations think they have to lead and show the way. And there's got to be a bit of that at the start, but it's more, for me, about what the organisations can learn from the young people and in terms of their practice as organisations and do things differently, because it's very easy, wherever you are in life, to kind of fall into ways of doing things, and you've got to challenge yourself. So I think it's a great challenge to the organisations.
What would make a real difference to arts and culture and young people moving forward?
Today we're trying to create a charter which will try and encourage cultural groups to pledge to, and then they can use this to base and structure the way that they do their organisations.
A lot of the things that we're discussing is attitude, and it's about shaping an ideal as opposed to shaping a business.
It's the bringing together and synthesising of the learning that we've had throughout the four and a half years of the programme.
I want it to really change things, and what I see as the beating heart of the Charter is a set of values to which everybody can subscribe to in one way or another. But it gives us all a common talking point, one place around a table, and when we begin that process of talking, that's when change begins to happen.
Any Generation offered us a brilliant opportunity to create time and space for people to develop their practice with young people.
We've developed a programme around the Urban Games that's sustainable, so we're able to still be commissioned, we're still commissioned to do workshops, we're still asked to do performances and road shows, and obviously still another event.
The whole subsequent programme has absolutely demonstrated the value, the worth, the productivity, the efficiency, the effectiveness of having young people involved from the very beginning.
When all this work is done, has the organisation changed? Are we better at working with young people, doing things with them rather than to them or for them?
Well, over the last 4 years, we've commissioned 15 regional projects across the North East to the tune of about £1.2 million. All of that money has been allocated in co-production with young people. We've drawn in audiences over those 4 years of nearly 500,000. We've worked directly, face-to-face, with just under 20,000 young people. In terms of additional money that we've raised, we've brought in over £1 million as well.
It looks like we'll continue, but I think the community that's been built now has to actually put some of the legwork in themselves.
It's been the best, most life-changing experience I have ever had, and it's changed me as a person to somebody who's motivated to do as many things as I possibly can.
What I hope for the future is that the Young People's Charter for Arts and Culture brings people together to create better ways of working in the future that really celebrate young people as people in the here and now, not just the artists and leaders of tomorrow.